Neighbor harassment. Is there anything I can do? A 3-year saga. Editor's note. Prior to these posts, Oop made a post titled Potential Neighbor Harassment. What can be done? November 29, 2016, 3 months earlier, which is unrecoverable, but is mentioned in the following post. Original post February 21, 2017. So, about 2 months ago, I posted here on r/legal advice that I moved into my first home and was warned by a friend who used to be a police officer that my new neighbor would call the police for what he said, everything you could imagine in the past. Dogs barking, loud cars, loud kids at the playground across the street, people walking on the sidewalk in front of her house, etc. etc. My first post here was asking if there was anything I could do legally to keep her at bay from calling the police. This was about a week before I moved into the home, and pretty much every response to me was laughing at me and telling me that if I wasn't a bad neighbor she wouldn't need to call the police. I took it with a grain of salt. Fast forward to moving day, and we pull up to the house in the U-Haul. About 30 minutes later, a police officer pulls up in his cruiser and checks in on us because they received a call from somebody in the neighborhood. I asked what the call was about and he said he couldn't tell me, but we just told him we bought the house and had some friendly small talk and he was on his way. I'm convinced that it was our neighbor who made the call to the police. All we were doing was moving in. A week later it snows and I'm outside shoveling, and so is my neighbor. I get to talking to her and within 30 seconds she starts bragging, more or less, about how she will call the cops on everybody and everything. I couldn't believe it. Google searched her name and an article popped up about a harassment charge she acquired 3 years ago. She got into a verbal altercation with a neighbor and she hit them with a spade shovel. She seems like a real upstanding citizen. Fast forward to present time. Last night it was unusually warm. I decided to get a fire going in our fire pit in the backyard. Before I could even get it lit, she's knocking on the fence and asks if she can talk to me. She says I don't know what you guys are planning on doing over there, but there aren't too many people having fires with 10 to 15 miles per hour gusts. If any of that smoke makes its way into my house, I'm going to have to make a call. I tell her that we were still going to have a fire and we'd be inside in about an hour. So, my question is, if she keeps threatening to make calls or have police show up at my door when I'm doing nothing illegal, is there anything I can do in terms of harassment or getting a restraining order? Update. February 24, 2017. 3 days later. I'll try and keep this short. I took all of the comments I read about what to do into consideration. Most suggested investing in a security camera system. As much as I don't want to do this, I'm going to have to. Today. 2/24/2017, while I am at work, my so had to run to the store for something before work. So has to drive past our house to get to work from the store. So said that while passing our house, our crazy neighbor lady is in our front yard with a leaf blower, blowing leaves around our yard, knowing that nobody was home in our house. Clearly on our property, no questions asked. I am fucking irate. Security cameras are being bought today and being installed as soon as possible. At what point is trespassing actually trespassing? I do not want her on my property, but she was clearly on my property. A part of me wants to say she was doing what she was doing to get our dog worked up inside of our house. I'm desperately looking for some help here. Edit, message the mods so this isn't locked anymore. Edit 2, don't worry everybody. I'll update this story if anything else comes about after cameras are up and she's asked to not be on my property again. Update 2. April 11, 2017. 6 weeks later, and for the lazy who won't click the links, I'll give a quick overview of what's happening. Bought my first home in December. Neighbor likes to call the cops for everything you can imagine. Neighbor infringes on our privacy whenever we are outside and threatens to call the cops on us for no reason. Now bear with me here, I don't have exact dates to go off of since I am at work and on my lunch break. I will guesstimate the best as possible with dates. So we left my first update where me and my so caught our crazy neighbor lady in our front yard blowing leaves around. Nobody was home at the time and my so drove by the house and saw it. That's how we know. A lot of people suggested getting a security camera system and I said I would be getting one as soon as possible. Other financial issues came up and I had to put off the camera system for a few weeks. This is where the second update starts. Fast forward from February to March 15th. It is around 9:40.